All right, let's jump right in. Today we are doing a deep dive on the Makera Z1 desktop CNC machine. This is a compact cutter that made a lot of noise during its Kickstarter campaign. It promised really the holy grail for makers, precision cutting, but with a super beginner-friendly operation.
It did, and that promise of accessibility, that's the real hook. So our mission today is to dig into the reviews, the performance tests,
Oh.
all the source material, and really look past the hype. Because for anyone thinking of getting into CNC, the big question is, does this thing actually deliver?
Exactly. So let's start with first impressions. And from what we've seen, the sources all seem to agree pretty strongly on this. The Z1, it really does grab your attention. It's clearly designed for a home workshop or maybe a small studio.
Mhm. And the physical build gets really high marks.
Hmm.
It has this well-finished, fully enclosed chassis,
Right.
and that's what seems to separate it from the pack. It feels genuinely solid. This is not one of those cheap DIY kits you spend hours just trying to get the frame square. The setup is apparently very straightforward, making it, a pretty painless entry for anyone new to this.
Okay, so it passes the build test. It feels good out of the box. But that brings us to the real question, right? The performance. Is the Z1 a functional CNC machine?
Oh, yeah. It's a legit functional machine. It,
Yeah.
it works. But, and this is a big but, you have to operate within its, let's call it its design envelope.
Meaning you need to stick to its limits.
Exactly. It does a respectable, a very reliable job as long as you stay within those limits.
So we're talking softer materials here, wood, plastics, that sort of thing.
Precisely. Wood, various plastics, and this is the important part, light aluminum. For your typical hobby projects, maybe some signage, small parts, the precision is perfectly fine.
But wait, if it can handle even light aluminum, doesn't that kind of put it ahead of a lot of its desktop competitors? Are we maybe being a bit too harsh when we talk about its limits?
That's a fair point. But the constraints become very obvious very quickly if you try to push it. The limitation isn't just about spindle power. It's more fundamental to the desktop form factor.
You mean frame rigidity?
Frame rigidity, thermal management, all of it. If you try to run continuous 8-hour cuts or something like tool steel,
Mm,
you will immediately hit that performance ceiling. It is not an industrial machine. The frame just can't take the force needed for really aggressive deep cuts.
got it. And these constraints, they're not just physical, are they? The software experience seems to be, well, a bit of a mixed bag from what I've read.
Yeah, this is the classic trade-off, isn't it? The software is designed to be extremely accessible, which is fantastic for a total beginner.
But that accessibility comes with a catch.
It does. It comes at the cost of control for more advanced users. It kind of restricts your ability to do deep G-code editing or, run complex professional tool paths. You could still get clean results, but you can't really get under the hood.
So the simplicity is a huge plus, but only until you try to move past the basics.
Exactly. And that simplicity, it ties directly back to the Kickstarter narrative we were talking about. The analysis confirms that the marketing, it sort of implicitly made the Z1 feel more powerful than it really is.
So it set expectations a little too high.
A little too high for certain users, yeah.
Yeah.
If you bought it thinking you could run a small production business on it, you probably feel the whole thing was, well, a bit overhyped for those heavy-duty expectations.
Okay, let's bring this all together for you, the listener. What's the final takeaway?
The Makera Z1 seems to make the most sense for makers who are prioritizing ease of use, safety, and a compact size over just raw power. It's a very friendly on-ramp to CNC machining, something that lets you get cutting on day one.
Right. And that leaves you with a really interesting final thought, I think. If the Z1 is successful in lowering the barrier to entry for, thousands of new beginners, we have to ask how the constraints of its accessible but restrictive software will guide or maybe even limit the growth of the next generation of makers. What's the true long-term cost of ease of use? Something for you to mull over.